Minnesota Vikings cornerback Mike Hughes has been a divisive player amongst the fan base ever since he came in as the number 30 overall pick in the 2018 draft. Because a lot of fans are like, could add Will Hernandez. Even though Will Hernandez is one of only two guards in the league who have given up more pressures this year than Drew Samia, but I digress. But Mike Hughes was a friggin' baller at Central Florida. He, on a lot of people's boards, he was either the second or third cornerback, and he was an extreme talent, and it was great. I mean, you look at him, his rookie year was phenomenal. Had a pick six of Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy threw it right to him, but of course, that's Jimmy Garoppolo ball. He could have dropped it. He looked good through his first 6 games, and then he tore his ACL, which is unfortunate. And then add in last season, which was just god-awful, atrocious, and he was still dealing with the effects of an ACL, a la Dalvin Cook in 2018. It's almost like we were spoiled with ACL injuries, like everyone's supposed to come back and be Adrian Peterson 2012. No, ACLs can be an 18 to 24 month injury. I get it. And then you have two very suspect seasons, two very suspect games this year in 2020 before missing time with further neck issues that arose last year after he had a broken friggin' neck. And so some fans are ready to throw in the towel. Is Mike Hughes a bust? Is he an injury bust? It's really hard. It's really hard. I'm like Davy Crockett at the Mike Hughes Alamo right now, just like, But it is starting to trend that way. Let's be honest here. But is there some way to still get value out of the extremely talented Mike Hughes? I think there is. So we have a humble suggestion. F cornerback. F cornerback right in the face. I understand that the Vikings have like 2 healthy cornerbacks right now, but F cornerback right in the nose. Make Mike Hughes a return specialist. Yeah, go full Devin Hester on the bit. And remember, Devin Hester was nominally a cornerback. I mean, go full Marcus Sherrills on the bit. Or Marcus Sherrills was one of the best punt returners in the league for a number of years, and also is like, oh yeah, he's also a cornerback, but just don't let him on the field because he's not great there. But also throwing kick returns. So basically, morph Cordarrelle Patterson and Marcus Sherrills and Devin Hester together and let Mike Hughes be that guy. All right, so you have Gladney and Dantzler. They're going to be your starting cornerbacks for the future. And also, maybe the coaching staff was a little bit concerned about Mike Hughes after the ACL, after the neck. So maybe they weren't completely sold on him. Maybe that's why they spent a third, a first, and a fifth-round pick on cornerback, huh? Could be it too. Chris Boyd is playing extremely well in year 2 despite his injury. And also, Harrison Hand, hello, can we get him on the field? Sure. Holton Hill is also the name of a person. But Mike Hughes is an absolute dynamic return specialist. We forget this, right? So 2017, for the national champion UCF Knights, Hughes averaged 31.8 yards per kick return, which is 5th best in the NCAA. Also 16.6 yards per punt return, which is 3rd best in the nation. Also, he scored a combined 3 touchdowns on 34 total returns, which is an 8.82% touchdown rate, which is an NCAA record. That's pretty damn good for that season. Also, he averaged 23 yards per interception return, and he took 1 to the house as well. Plus, you'll notice that if you look back at a lot of Mike Hughes highlight tapes from college, a lot of it is in the return game. So it's either him returning that pick or him returning punts or kicks. That's really his bag, right? That's what got everyone hyped about him. Take it back a step further, because this is the sort of crackerjack detective work we do. 2016, when he was at Garden City Community College, go Broncos, he returned 3 more punts for a touchdown. So he's absolutely elusive. He can absolutely make dynamic plays in the open field. Last year for the Vikings, he did get out there a limited usage in terms of returning punts. He had 14, 7.4 yards per return, which would have been 11th in the NFL if he had qualified with number of returns. But also remember, that's 1 year removed from an ACL. So it's like, well, why do you return 14 for touchdowns? Face. Now, I can already hear the Bears fans in the comments. How dare you? Devin Hester is the greatest punt returner of all time. Also, he's the greatest kick returner of all time, even though he's significantly worse than Cordarrelle Patterson, but I digress there. Face. Facts don't care about your Hester, right? So in college, Mike Hughes had a higher yards per kick return than Devin Hester, 31.7 versus 25.5 for Devin Hester at the U. Higher yards per punt return, 16.6 versus 15.6, as well as a higher return touchdown percentage at 8.82 versus 7.41 for Devin Hester. So, yeah. Forget cornerback, turn Mike Hughes into a return specialist, yank him out of those meeting rooms, just have him focus and study tape on special teams units and returns and do that. right? And also for the neck issues, playing cornerback certainly does not help things. You're tackling, you're initiating contact, generally with your head or your face. Sometimes the offensive player lowers his head and they make helmet-to-helmet contact, a la Harrison Smith. Not that I'm still bitter, right? As well as being a ball carrier is better, based on our YouTube doctoral degree, as you are the one absorbing the contact as opposed to directly delivering it, often involving your head and neck. So, yeah. And yes, I know KJ Osborne, also from the U. Well, he was drafted in the 5th round as a return specialist, and he was basically just handed the kick return job. But also, 1 week he's been a healthy scratch. Now he's missed two days of practice with a hamstring. Probably not going to play on Sunday. And also, was KJ Osborne really promised anything? Why? Because he was a 5th round pick? That's just a cornerstone of the franchise? No. Remember Rodney Adams? 2017, he was a 5th round pick returner from Southern Florida. He didn't make it a month before he was cut from the roster, like straight up cut after 4 to 5 weeks. So, he's currently on the Bears practice squad after he retired for a hot second to be a vlogger. Plus, Chad Beebe, punt returner, Amir Abdullah, kick returner. They really have nothing on Hughes, and also they are promised nothing either. So yes, the Vikings are shorthanded at cornerback, so keep him in the sphere, but also let the other young guys who've shown some promise, like the Dantzler, like the Gladney, like the Chris Boyd, even like Harrison Hand, get them more in the mix, and then unleash Mike Hughes as a full-time kick and punt returner. Let that be his primary focus, because the Vikings need some explosive offensive plays. They need to work on field position. So why not have a guy returning kicks who's explosive, as well as returning punts who can greatly help a field position? Why the hell not? As you're just trying to get some sort of value out of Mike Hughes before you just let him go. And maybe he's a bust. I don't know. But keep hope alive. All right, so your thoughts. Mike Hughes, kick returner, punt returner, let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support that work? Pull some of the Venmo. But until next time, Skull, production value.